Yes, YouTube, what is going on? Hope you're all doing well. So today we are running through what essentially I am doing as my standard kind of protocols for my pre-workout nutrition, my peri-workout nutrition, and my post-workout nutrition. Just for I kind of do a little bit of a walk and talk type thing, just kind of showcasing why I do certain things, the reasons behind it. That's the exact same thing, just different wording. And yeah, just provide you with a little bit of an insight as to essentially what I do kind of recommend for most of these scenarios. Now, this does look different when I am doing my running in comparison to my workout. So today specifically, I am talking about my pre-workout nutrition in regards to my workouts. So to start with, I am making a bowl of cream of rice. So I'm using 100 grams of cream of rice today. Why cream of rice specifically? And for those of you watching who are unaware as to what cream of rice is, it's essentially just flavored powdered form of rice flour. It's very easy digesting, which is the exact reason I do have it. Now, when it comes to making cream of rice, it's nice and simple. 100 grams in a nice little bowl. I need a whisk, which is exactly where my camera is. This is not going to be fun. Then you roughly want to put about 100 grams of cream of rice with about 400 ml of water, give or take. I don't measure the water out realistically. I don't really mind. But that's essentially how you do it. You put it in the microwave, minute and a half. Should kind of look like this at first, and then it will start solidifying as time goes on. Now I'm really gonna hope that this microwave doesn't make too much of an annoying noise as I do speak, but hey-oh, there's only kind of one way to find out. Now, the reason I go for cream of rice, as I mentioned before, it is obviously rice-based to begin with. And the reason why I personally like that is because it digests fantastic for me. When you get something, or when you go into training in general, you want something that digests well for your good self. The reason for this is because we do not want anything sitting on our stomach. When we have food sitting on our stomach, when we have food that is digesting, this often, as a result, what we tend to see is that our blood flow is not going to go towards the target muscles we are working. So today for me, it's a chest day. I'm looking to work my chest primarily. I want as much blood flow as possible to be going towards my chest, my triceps, not towards my stomach to help digest my food. So obviously I want adequate amount of time in order to digest it. So we're about an hour and a half. It's 11:30 now. I'm going to go train at 1. Pretty much spot on timing wise. But we also want foods that are going to digest well for me. Things like gluten and that don't typically digest the best for the majority of people. So something like oats, it's a slower digesting option, probably not going to be the greatest. Now, with that said, if I'm under a bit of a time crunch, something like crumpets and jam, that's something which I would opt for. Does sound a bit hypocritical, as I've just mentioned the gluten thing, but it's all person dependent. At the end of the day, you've got to find options that are going to work best for you. Now, this is a process that will take about 10 minutes, give or take, but ultimately, I think it's worth it. What I will do as well is after I eat this, I will make another portion of cream of rice for my post-workout nutrition. I'll explain more as to why I would do that when we're eating the post-workout as well. Regarding brands when it comes to cream of rice, personally, I recommend DNA. I am not affiliated by them at all. I've tried Trained by JP, I've tried Conte Sport, I've tried Applied Nutrition when I was sponsored by them, of course, and CSN, they were also fantastic. Now, obviously, I have my coaching business, which is affiliated with CN Sport itself, but my discount code is exclusive for my members. They obviously do stock the DNA one and some of the other brands I have mentioned today. But if you are going to get it, I would recommend DNA. I'm using the blueberry muffin flavor, which will be absolutely delicious. Now, another consideration you also want to take into account when it comes to blood flow and obviously going towards your stomach is the sheer volume of food. This is not going to be a huge amount of volume for me to digest and digest adequately. If you do have issues and you do consume too much food pre-workout, then you're going to have the same issue as you were to have if you have something that's slower digesting. So for this meal, we're going to have high carbohydrates, moderate amount of protein, and it's basically no fat involved within it. Now, to add to this as well, I'm going to go for one of my protein servings for the day, and this worked really well, so I'm going to be using the Perform Whey today. I'm going to make a little bit of a sludge out of that. I don't think it's going to focus. That may be focusing now. There we go. Happy days. we're going to be trying the blueberry muffin flavor out for the first time. So I'm going to make a slight little whey drip powder out of this. Pure reason for this is it's going to be one of my protein servings for the day, one of the 5 that I try to typically get in within most days, and it just adds a little bit of texture to the meal, adds a little bit of extra flavor. It's delicious. And another thing is that it digests well for me. For the majority of people, whey protein is something that digests well, especially isolate, because obviously that takes the lactose out of it because it's been refined one further from whey protein. The most common reason I think the majority of people have an issue, or they think whey protein doesn't sit well with them, unless they obviously have some intolerances attached to it, is because they go for cheap protein powder. You know, if you buy your My Proteins, for instance, things of this nature where they try to believe that you're like, look, you're getting a cheap price, where in fact, reality, you're paying more than what you would pay for a decent product. It's just been given a 60% discount code, so you as the consumer think you've got a deal. It's a super cheap product. Back in the day, they were cheap as a brand, it made sense. But now they're just more expensive and they're just very good at marketing, realistically. So buy yourself some good quality protein. That is my biggest tip, because it's gonna digest a lot better and you're gonna get a lot more out of it. I've added a little bit too much water in this for my liking, but you know, you get to see this is the type of, once again, there we go. This is the type of texture you do get. I'm gonna bang this in the fridge whilst that cream of rice cooks, just to help it thicken up a little bit. I'm not a big fan of the taste of that though. That's very artificial. Not what I regularly have. What I do usually have is Naughty Boy. At the moment I'm running the Rainbow Charms, which is absolutely delicious. I am just about to finish a 2 kilo tub of the Perform salty and sweet popcorn. Out of the Perform flavors, this and the white chocolate hazelnut Bueno type 1, mwah, perfection. Now, whilst I've got my water out as well, I'm gonna be making my creatine for the day. Now, the reason I will have my pre-workout meal with my creatine is because, of course, all the benefits that come from creatine, you wanna ensure you're getting at least 5 grams per day. If not more at the moment. There seems to be a lot of evidence suggesting up to 20 grams per day is quite effective. But for those of you who don't know, creatine monohydrate is actually a mild GDA, meaning you get a greater uptake in terms of the carbohydrates that you do consume. So it's just gonna help a little bit with shuttling. Now I get a flavored one because it was part of a bundle deal. Makes it taste a little bit nicer. Then also at the same time, this is when I will have my source of caffeine for the day. I do try to limit myself to about 2 of these per day at most. Try being the key word. But the reason I take my caffeine dose now instead of in my pre-workout, and I will talk about what I have for pre-workout and why I don't have a caffeine version, is purely because that caffeine is a vasoconstrictor. When it comes to our workouts itself and when it comes to my hypertrophy style training and looking to generally build my strength up, I want to ensure I get as much blood to the target muscle as possible. That is essentially my goal, to ensure I can get the most out of my sessions. So I will opt for a pump product instead, so we will actually improve vasodilation rather than impair it with the caffeine. This way I still get to enjoy my caffeine and I still get some benefit from it. It's just not gonna have that instant impact as it would do if we had this just before on the way to the gym. Do love me some Strawberry Dream. There we go, one more whisk with this and we're gonna be pretty much done. Always clean up as you go. Biggest tip there. A tidy mind, tidy environment. Clean up as you go, children. Yeah, cream of rice is done. This is how it looks. This is extremely fucking hot, so I'm gonna let it cool down for a bit. And whilst that is happening, whilst it's cooling down, I will make my Peri workout nutrition, which is realistically nice and simple. I tend to have 2 liters of water in and around the workout period, a little bit before and obviously the rest during, and then I will just sip on the remainder afterwards. About 300 mils of water goes in there. Now on the way to the gym, I will be using, as I mentioned, a non-stim pump formula. Once again, there we go. So we're gonna be utilizing this. I need to destroy this up with a knife at the moment because it has gone very clumpy, so I will make this in a little bit. But the reason we use a pump formula, as I mentioned, is we want to increase vasodilation. We want good focus heading into the session, and I don't want anything that's going to detract from my session. So a nice pump formula is what we are going to be using. Now for the remainder of this 1.5-ish litre of water, I am going to be adding in a scoop of TWP Endure. Now this is a BCAA/EAA formula. Obviously you want to ensure you are having an essential amino acid, not just a branch chain amino acid. If you just get BCAAs, you are missing out on the remainder of the essential amino acids that need to be utilized. At the end of the day, this does act as a little bit of a protein serving throughout the day, but if you're hitting your protein, is this an essential? No, not at all. I like it as it's a way to flavor my water, plus give me some additional benefits. There are some electrolytes within the Endure one specifically. So that's why I also like it, just to ensure I stay well hydrated throughout my workouts. Because at the end of the day, once again, to ensure blood flow is optimal, to ensure I'm getting the most out of my sessions, I need to ensure that I am staying well hydrated. Having an EAA and a hydration formula alongside my workouts just ensures that my recovery is going to be optimal at the end of the day. So it's just those little 1% things. Is this a requirement? No. Do I recommend it? If you have the disposable income, you're gonna realistically benefit just a tiny bit off it. But if you're just drinking water, you're gonna be in a good spot. I more recommend electrolytes than anything else rather than an EAA formula. The sludge is made, now the cream rice is cooled down just a little bit. We are gonna just pour it on top. Actually, we'll pop. There we go, lovely stuff. If you guys can see that at all, it's not gonna focus in on this. Why would it? It's gonna focus in on me instead. It tastes a little bit like marzipan. Not getting blueberry muffin, has to be said. But that's not it for this pre-workout meal. I'm also going to be adding in a serving, which is 80 grams of pineapple. The reason we add this is because it's a carbohydrate source at the end of the day. You're going to get the benefits from that. But moreover, we want to be ensuring that we're not only getting a source of glucose, but a source of fructose as well within our carbohydrate source. Now, the reason we do this is because we are utilizing both pathways of carbs. Resultingly, we are going to get a bigger uptake from the carbohydrates we are consuming. So you're going to get a little bit more benefit from your workout as a result. Plus, at the end of the day, pineapple has a digestive enzyme known as bromelain within it. So with the protein we are consuming from this meal, it is actually going to digest better, because what bromelain does essentially just helps with the breakdown of protein. Pretty sure I said that a few times. So yeah, this is the final product. Looks disgusting, right? But I'm gonna go eat this now. And then obviously I will make my pre-workout, have that upon the gym. My drink is now in the fridge, so that's good to go. Gonna have my creatine, finish off my Monster, go train chest, and I will feed back to you afterwards when I have my post-workout treat. Yummy, lovely days. See you in a bit. Yes, 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 wonderful people. How are we doing? I need to lift this up a little bit, don't I? Duplication glitch time. We have another bowl of cream of rice. As you can see, there is no protein within this meal currently. I am planning to have protein, however, I like to have my carbohydrates first anyway. I am filming a video. I would usually have some protein source with this meal just to consume with it. But I am filming a Ninja Creamy reel at the moment. Bang, you'll see it there on screen. And I actually am going to be consuming more carbohydrates with this meal. There's going to be some Lucky Charms placed upon that Ninja Creamy recipe. Super fucking simple. Realistically, if you are somebody that's in a dieting phase, struggling with hunger, has a little bit of a sweet tooth, struggles with their protein goal, easiest 35 grams of protein you will ever get is with that Ninja Creamy recipe. So head to my Instagram, go give it a watch. The majority of my carbohydrates are going to be stored today, and this is why I have more carbs with this meal. Now, in general, I house about 60 to 70% of my carbohydrates for the day, especially when I'm in a little bit more of a deficit phase, around the workout window in itself, to both maximize the session I have, but also to maximize my recovery capabilities too. So when it comes to the glucose transporter unit, GLUC4, it is massively heightened about within the first 45 to 60 minutes after a workout. Now, one of the key things for me is to put myself in a parasympathetic state first. So I will do about 10 breaths, give or take, before I consume this meal. Put myself in a nice calm state so I can best digest this meal, because obviously if I'm in a heightened stress state like a workout would put me in, then I'm not actually going to digest this well at all. Once again, like the pre-workout meal, this is high in carb, moderate protein, and low in fat, so we maximize digestion as well. And yeah, I'm gonna eat this. I'm then gonna film the Ninja Creamy recipe, and then at the end of it, I'm gonna eat the creamy. So that's pretty much all that needs to be said. I have a phone call coming in. Oh, it's a missed call. Who's missed called me? My wife tried to video call me. Literally, she just called me to show me that she's at my favorite donut place having a donut. Yep. Anyway, do you want a nice little kind of taste testy? Look at this wonder. Hello? Oh, fucking auto in this. No, there. Focus on this, not me, you fucker. Well, you're not gonna see what this looks like close up because it doesn't really merit it. I'm not gonna do a taste test this close up. This feels a little bit homoerotic. Not that there's anything wrong with it. Just YouTube ain't gonna be happy with that. But yeah, hopefully this brief little summary as to what I have pre, during, and post-workout gives you a better indicator as to how you could structure your nutrition to both optimize both your workouts, feel the best, and also maximize your recovery after. So in day-to-day life, you feel fantastic. Let me know what you do. If there's anything in particular, if there's anything in particular you do, let me know in the comments. But if you found this useful and you like more videos like this, hit the subscribe, bush. I have small biceps, we're trying to work on that. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bash!